Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Aussie today? So before we get on to the daily view, let's just have a look at the long-term view on the weekly. So I got it a little bit wrong yesterday, and essentially this, as I said yesterday, this level here is a pretty serious level. It was in place for quite a number of years, almost 2 years before we breached, and then we came back, we tested it, and we tested it immediately with this beautiful engulfing candle here, and then it just fizzled out. Okay, we've now come back and we're testing this level again. So these are the two levels that I feel we're probably going to target this week. So I suspect we've got quite a bit of downside still to come. But there is two scenarios here which are kind of influencing my bias a little bit now. And the first one is this double top. Okay, so this double top here is a 4,600 point target. And I'm not going to worry about the exact 4,600 target, but you can see it's somewhere in this area here. And the most logical thing for me is this inside bar here. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing that we need to worry about is that we have a move to the downside, consolidation. So a break below this level will give us a measured move. Okay, so there's two scenarios here. So the first one is we get a measured move, and the measured move will be pretty much like that. So it's from that high there, which brings us back to this level. Okay, and then the second scenario is pretty much come on, we want to do that. The second scenario is that this is a range and we get a range break, which brings us even further down. Okay, so for me, I think I'll just stick with those levels at the moment. If this does materialize the downside, then what's going to happen is this entire range will be the target, because this is more like a cup and handle. Okay, so that's kind of the weekly view that I have at the moment. So okay, so can't really see much on the daily. You can see that these levels are critical. I'm just going to fine tune this one to that breakout test there. This one is correct, and this one is pretty correct as well. I think what we actually should do is just do that and just put another level in over here. Okay, so let's just get down to the lower time frames. Right, so you can see we had a close on our low of the 4 hour of that weekly level. Okay, so that is a pretty significant sign. However, we do have diversions here on the MACD, and we've got a grouping of the oscillator. So this is telling me that we are getting a little bit tired. So I would suspect that we're going to target probably this level here, and I'd expect some kind of consolidation or a bounce before we move more to the downside. Okay, and I just want to get down to the hour. And okay, I'm just going to drop down to the half hour. In actual fact, I want to show you something. And basically, there is if you're familiar with the range break strategy, there is a closing range break strategy. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'll do a separate video on it, but essentially the last hour of trading on the Aussie is what defines the range. Okay, so if I work back here, that's my range. If we break to the upside with for me, it's a 12-minute candle close above the high of the range, then you've got the breakout target, which is the height of the range, and then you've got 161.8 extension, 261.8 extension, and 361.8 extension. Those are your targets, either side of the range. So you can see here how we got the first target, second target, and stretched for the third one and kind of missed it. Okay, if I move this to the next day, like there, you'll see a breakthrough. We tested the break with the next bar here, and breakout target was hit and target 2 was hit. Okay, and if I take it to yesterday, this was the first failure that I've seen of this in 22 days at the moment. Okay, so you can see here we broke to the upside, which then gave me the bias that we were moving to the upside, and my prediction of us coming to test this break where we could got short again would have been correct. So, and a lot of times when this breaks out like this, comes back and it bounces off the 50% of the range, that's pretty much always an entry long for me. And I was long, got stopped out, got that a little bit wrong, and we didn't really come and test this level. So I would have expected us to come test that level, get in short again, and hold that short for a bit of a swing trade. Okay, didn't materialize. We have to worry about today. And so if we move this to today, I have to minimize it. So that's the last hour of trading. That is our range. Okay. And if you have a look at where the targets are at the moment, the breakout target is the first level. Okay. So my bias is definitely for the downside at the moment. And if we in from there, that's in 191 points to this level. At that point, I would suspect we do either bounce quite violently, or it's just going to be a little profit-taking exercise and then go sideways and then move to the downside and target the next one. Okay, so remember this first target, this first level here is the range break target. We haven't gone through that. So this here is the range. So from there to there is the range. So that's 970 points. Down to here, down to here. That's 1,000. Sorry, let's just do this properly. Okay, so from there to the upper side of the range, and there. So this line here is this range break target. Okay, then the next one that you have is pretty much the measured move, which is here to here. Okay, and that's the next line there, which basically is our between our target 3 and target 4 of this range break. Okay, so having a look at that, I think we still got the range break target to get hit, and that is pretty much my eyes going to be done. The question is, will we get this measured move? There is a chance of it. I'm just concerned about all these oscillators that are grouping to the bottom, which are showing very oversold conditions at the moment. Okay. The last thing that we want to worry about is, and I can't really pick it up with this data that we have here, but there is a gap at the bottom here still. Okay. So there's definitely a gap that's open down at the bottom here. And below that, if I remember correctly, there's a gap over here. If I remember correctly, there are two gaps below. Can't really see it with the data that I've got on this chart, but if you look on investing.com or one of the other platforms, you'll see there's definitely a gap pretty much on the measured move. Okay, so that's kind of my play today. It's definitely looking for short still, and obviously I'd like a better entry of a bounce, but reality is we may not get that. We'll probably just grind down slowly to the breakout target, and then a little bit of a bounce to the upside, and then move to the downside again. Okay, so I think the key thing here is just keep an eye on these moving averages. If you are below the 20, as long as you're below the 20, you're trending down. If you're above the 20 moving average, you're trending up. And your 5 moving average below gives you confirmation. If it's above, confirmation. You can see it does get confusing when it's in a range, which was essentially here. But it does help you to stay on the right side of the trend. Okay, so anyway, that's Aussie today. Hope it helps. And I'll catch you later. Cheers, man.